Hi, I'm Les Humphrey. I've put this training video together to help give our customers an understanding of what to expect when they take their Module 4 CPC test. The test lasts for 35 minutes. There are 5 sections in which you must gain a pass mark of 75% in each section with an overall pass of 80%. The test is a practical test. You'll be asked questions, you'll have to explain the answers to the examiner and show some of the answers as well. Today I'm going to give you some examples of those questions. When you attend your training course you will be given a full listing of the 20 questions, and today I'm going to show you 5 of those questions exactly as they should be done on the test. There are 5 sections. The 5 sections that you'll be asked questions in are ability to load vehicle with due regard for safety rules and proper use. Section 2, security of vehicle and contents. Section 3, ability to prevent criminality and trafficking of illegal immigrants. Section 4, ability to assess emergency situations. Section 5, ability to prevent physical risk. Question 4. Show me how you would enter the vehicle safely and then show me all the precautions you would take before starting the engine. Once you've completed the first stage of that, the examiner will now ask you a second question. You are now parked on the left on a busy main road. Please show me how you would leave the vehicle safely. First thing to do is open the driver's door fully. So we'll check and make sure it's safe. Open the door fully. And now we're going to climb up into the cab using both of these handles and not the steering wheel, and making sure we use both steps as well. It's referred to as 3 points of contact at all times. So first thing is 1 foot up, grab both handles, step up into the vehicle. Once you're in the cab, then we're going to close the door securely. Okay, so now we're inside the cab. First thing we want to do is adjust the seat. So that's good. We're going to set the mirrors, they're both fine. Okay, and then we're going to check the handbrake is on. Make sure it's in neutral. Now the examiner is going to say you are now parked on the left on a busy main road. Please show me how you would leave your vehicle safely. So first thing we do, check the handbrake is set. Make sure it's in neutral. Before we exit we'll check the mirrors, check all around, and then we'll open the door. What we're going to do is grab the handle, 1 foot on the step, grab the other handle, and then walk safely down the steps and close the door. And that's the end of question 4. Question 14. Please show and explain what tyre, wheel and spray suppression checks you would make before driving this vehicle. We'll start off with the front wheel on this vehicle. First one I'm going to check is the mudguard is secure, down here too. Also making sure the spray suppression is clean and firmly fitted and secure. Then I'm going to go on to the tyre itself. We need to make sure that the tyre has got at least 1 millimetre of tread across 3/4 of the breadth of the tyre and around the entire circumference. We also need to check the side walls for any damage. We're looking for bulges, splits, cuts, or making sure there's no cord visible. Then we're going to go on to the wheel itself. We've got these wheel nut indicators. What we're looking for there is to make sure that they line up. If they was misaligned, it could indicate a loose wheel nut. If we didn't have wheel nut indicators, we'd be checking the nuts to make sure that none of them protrude, stick out any further than the rest. So now we're going to go on to the rear wheel. So now we'll make the same checks on this rear wheel. We'll tug the mudguard, check the spray suppression, making sure it's clean of course and firm and secure. We're now going to go on to the wheel nut indicators. They all look okay. Checking the tyre, no damage to the sidewall, it's good tread. We're also going to check in between the 2 tyres to make sure there's no rocks or bricks in between. We'll just get down here and then we're going to check that there's no bricks or any debris in between the tyres. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go around to the other side of the vehicle and we'll make the same checks again. Question 8. Your fully laden vehicle is ready for you to do a delivery. Show me the checks you would make to determine the vehicle is not overloaded. Once you've completed the first part of this question, the examiner will then ask a second, if in any doubt, what else can you do? What we do is we walk about 10 foot behind the vehicle and we look to make sure that it's not leaning down on either side, because that could indicate a problem with the overloading. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go around the side of the vehicle where we'll check the suspension. Down here, what we're going to check now, first of all, the suspension behind us here. Make sure it looks like it's bowing down rather than upwards. An expression the examiners like to hear, make sure the suspension looks like it's smiling. Now we're going to check the mud guards. Checking the distance between the tyre and the mud guard. If it was down too low, it could indicate an overloaded problem. Then we'll take a look at the mud flap spray suppression. Is it touching the ground? Could also be an indication that it's overloaded. Looking in between the two rear tyres, making sure that they're not touching, because that could also be a sign of the vehicle being overloaded. Last of all, when you've answered all those questions, the examiner is going to ask you again another question. If you're in any doubt, what else can you do? We'd explain to him that we would take the vehicle to the nearest weighbridge to confirm that it's not overloaded. Thank you. Question 3. You've had a comfort break just before boarding a cross-channel ferry. Show me what checks you would make to this vehicle before driving through customs. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to start under the bonnet. So we'll come back, open up the bonnet. What we're looking for is anywhere that they could stow some drugs, explosives, etc. So we'll just go around all the little crevices and holes around here, explaining that we're looking for explosives, etc. That all looks fine underneath the bonnet. We'll close it back down. We'll check along this gully here, make sure there's nothing down here in between the vents. All looks fine. Coming around the side of the vehicle. So if we come around the side of the vehicle, we'd explain to the examiner, we're going to look underneath the wheel arches. So we'll come down here. So we'll take a good look around underneath the wheel arch, looking for anywhere anything could be stashed, any packages that could be hidden. We're searching between the cab and the body of the vehicle. If you had a wind deflector, we'd search up the top, they could stow away in there. And we'd explain we're going to look on the top of the roof in case there's anybody up the top. Coming back down here now, we'll search underneath the bodywork, looking for the framework for anything that could be attached or stowed away. Same looks underneath here again. Framework here as well. Making sure we check underneath the mud guards, explaining we're looking for packages or stowaways. Underneath the rear of the vehicle, sometimes they attach themselves to the rear axles. So now we come round to the rear of the vehicle. We're going to open the door so we can take a look inside the vehicle. So with the doors open, we'd explain to the examiner that we'd normally climb inside the vehicle, searching the contents, making sure there's no hidden drugs, no stowaways, etc. We'd search the roof lining to make sure there's been no signs of access, and making sure there's nobody actually on top of the roof. So we'd search all around the vehicle. Now from the point of view of the test, there is no requirement to get inside of the vehicle, we just explain that's what we do. So coming around the far side of the vehicle, first of all, we'll come across this box. Now, if it was locked, we'd explain to the examiner that we'd look inside it. If it's open, obviously, open it and take a good look inside. Looking underneath the framework. And of course, underneath this mud guard as well. So we come to the fuel tank. We need to explain to the examiner that we'd normally open the fuel cap, take a look inside. There could be some drugs or something explosives attached to a string. On the test, there's no requirement to open the tank. We come to the battery compartment. Again, we'd just explain that we'd normally look in that kind of area as well, and searching around here, and making the same checks underneath the front arch, and of course checking in between again. That completes the external checks. Now we're going to climb inside the vehicle and do checks inside. The door open, we'll search inside this pocket area here. That's all clear. And what we're going to do now is search behind the back of the chair. Taking a good look, there's nothing behind there. Then we get up inside the vehicle. And what we're going to do now is search all the compartments. So we'll search up around here. Anywhere that opens, basically, inside the drawer here. In the pockets behind me. Up in this one here. And now I'm going to go around to the other side of the vehicle and check the compartments on the other side. We're going to search inside the pocket here. We're going to search behind the driver's seat. All looks okay. Once we move the seat back, we'll climb inside the vehicle again and searching at anything around here. And that's completed the checks that we need to make. Question 5. From the driver's seat and externally, show me and explain the daily safety checks you would make to this vehicle before driving on the road. First thing I'm going to do is check the mirrors are all okay, so I'll check the left side. All 3 of those are fine, they're clean, present and set properly, not broken. Checking the one in front of us, and then we've got the 3 here. We can see they're all okay. Next thing I'll do is check that the horn is working, so I'm going to turn the ignition on, check the horn, and then I'll check the operation of the washers and wipers. We can see they're fine. Next thing we do is check the braking system and the speedo is working. So normally you would drive the vehicle forward and test the brakes and speedo. However, at our head office there's no requirement to move the vehicle forward, so you'd explain to the examiner that that's what you would normally do. Once we've done that, with the engine running, we would check the mirrors for excessive exhaust smoke. So I've checked the left side and I've checked the right side, and we can see the exhaust system's okay. I've now turned the engine off, and we're going to ask the examiner to assist us in checking the brake lights. So here, go to the back of the vehicle, we'll turn the ignition on, we'll apply the brakes, and here say that's fine, and then we can turn the ignition back off. And now we're going to turn on the whole lights. So we'll turn on the dipped headlights, the main beam headlights, hazard lights, fog lights, and then we're going to exit the vehicle and check the lights outside. And we also need to check, when we get out, the speed limiter certificate and the tachograph inspection certificate. So let's exit the vehicle. On this vehicle we can find the tachograph calibration sticker located on the door frame. We can, if we look a little closer, see the date of its last calibration. We need to explain to the examiner that the tachograph needs a 2-yearly inspection and recalibrating every 6 years. On older vehicles you may well find this sticker located on the tachograph head. What we're now going to do is follow down the door frame, where we're going to come across our speed limiter certificate, and if we look closely there we can see the set speed and also the date it was set. On older vehicles you may find this located on the front window screen or maybe on the side window. Make sure that you're fully aware of where it's located for both of these certificates before taking your test. So at the front of the vehicle, first thing we're going to do is check all the lights, indicators are working, and we've checked them on both sides. We need to check the front number plate to make sure that it matches the rear number plate. Now we're going to go around the side of the vehicle. So now we've come around the side of the vehicle, we'll explain to the examiner that we're going to check the condition of the tyres. What we're looking for is at least 1 millimetre across 3/4 of the breadth of the tyre and around a continuous band. No bulges in the side of the tyre, no cuts, and of course no cord showing. Then we're going to come along, checking indicators are working. So again, checking this side marker light. I'll check the rear one here as well while I'm up. And then I'm going to check the condition of the tyres, making sure they've got the same legal requirements as the front ones. So we'll crouch down. We can see the tread depth limit there. We have twin tyres on this vehicle, so we're going to look in between the tyres to make sure there's no rocks or debris in between them. So we'll come down, have a look inside. We're going to check that there's no bricks or any debris in between the tyres. All looks fine. And now we're going to go around the rear of the vehicle. So coming around the back of the vehicle, we're now going to check all the rear lights are working and clean. We can see they're fine. All fine on this side. Remember to check the rear number plate matches the front. We're going to check up to the top to make sure that the lights are working up there, and then we'll go around the near side of the vehicle. First thing we come across is the side marker light, clean, secure and fitted. Of course, now we need to check the tyres again. They look fine. Side marker light again. Side marker light, indicator, and finally checking the front wheel. That's fine. So we've come to the end of this video now. Let me thank you for taking the time to watch it. I hope you found it helpful, and let me wish you good luck on the day of the test. Thank you.